My name is Elena Carter. I was 26 years old when a mortgage broker looked me in the eye and told me something that changed my life forever. Miss Carter, according to your credit report, you own a funeral home. I laughed. I thought he was joking. I had never worked in the funeral industry. I had never owned a business. I had never signed for a loan larger than my student aid paperwork. But by the time I walked out of his office that afternoon, I discovered I was carrying more than $412,000 in debt. Debt attached to my name, debt accumulated over 10 years, debt created by the two people who were supposed to protect me, my parents. But there was one thing they forgot: I am a forensic accountant. And numbers always tell the truth. Welcome back to Com Drama Stories. This is the channel where women share stories of family betrayal, quiet strength, and the boundaries they wish they had set sooner. If this is your first time here, subscribe so you do not miss the next story. And if you are listening right now, leave a comment with your city and local time. Now let me take you back to the beginning. I grew up in Ashford, Kentucky, a small town where everyone knew your name, your church, and your family history. My father, Robert Carter, owned a small landscaping business. My mother, Denise Carter, was a receptionist at a dental office. My older brother, Ryan, was the golden child, football captain. Class president, my mother called him our future. I was the quiet one. I loved math. I loved organization. At 13, I kept color-coded budgets for my allowance. At 15, I was tutoring seniors in algebra. My father used to joke, Elena was born with a calculator in her hand. I thought he was proud. Now I know he was taking inventory. When I was 15, my father's landscaping business began to fail. A drought destroyed his contracts. 2 trucks broke down, creditors started calling. My parents stopped talking about vacations. My mother clipped coupons at the kitchen table. My father stayed up late with bank statements spread across the counter. I remember hearing them whisper after midnight. I remember hearing my mother say, "We need another option." I never imagined that option was me. At 18, I won a scholarship to the University of Louisville. My parents were proud. Or at least they acted proud. My mother cried at orientation. My father hugged me and said, "We always knew you would do something big." What he meant was that I was about to become even more useful. I graduated at 22 with a degree in accounting. By 26, I had a stable job at a respected financial consulting firm. I had saved enough for a down payment on a modest townhouse. It felt like the beginning of my real life. Then the mortgage application came back, denied. The loan officer looked uncomfortable. "Elena, there's a substantial issue with your credit." Substantial. That word changed everything. I pulled my credit reports that same night. 49 pages, a business loan, 6 credit cards, a commercial truck lease, 2 tax liens, a property loan. And one company listed over and over: Carter Memorial Services LLC. I stared at the screen. A funeral home, registered under my name when I was 15 years old. The filing date was August 22. My birthday, the same day my parents bought me a chocolate cake and a silver necklace engraved with my initials. The same day they stole my identity. I searched the state business registry. There it was: registered owner, Elena Grace Carter. Registered address, my parents' home. Annual revenue, over $800,000 during its peak years. I had spent college eating instant noodles and working late shifts at the library. Meanwhile, a profitable business was operating under my social security number. When I called my mother, she answered cheerfully, "Hi, sweetheart." "Mom, why do I own a funeral home?" Silence, then a soft laugh. "Oh, honey, it was only paperwork." Only paperwork, 10 years. $412,000 in debt, fraudulent tax returns, commercial leases, and she called it paperwork. "We were going to fix it before you ever found out." I was too stunned to speak. My father got on the phone. "Don't overreact, Elena. Family sacrifices for each other." Family sacrifices? Funny how the sacrifice always came from me. I hired a consumer fraud attorney. When she reviewed the documents, she looked up and said, "This is one of the most extensive cases of familial identity theft I've ever seen." She explained what I needed to do: FTC report, police report, IRS identity theft affidavit, credit bureau disputes, and one painful step: naming my parents. I spent weeks investigating. The business had purchased a hearse, 2 luxury SUVs, a vacation cabin in Tennessee, designer handbags for my mother, private school tuition for Ryan's children. My brother knew, he admitted it. Mom and Dad said it was temporary, 10 years. Over $400,000. When I confronted my mother again, she cried. We were desperate. Then she changed tone. "If you report us, you'll destroy this family." I remember sitting in my apartment holding the phone and realizing something profound: the family had already been destroyed. I was simply the first person willing to admit it. I filed the reports, all of them. Within weeks, the IRS and FBI opened investigations. Bank records showed my parents had treated the business account as a personal spending account. Luxury hotels, jewelry stores, resort vacations, mortgage payments. Everything funded by loans and tax returns in my name. The notary who certified the original documents was my mother's best friend. She later admitted she never saw me sign anything. My brother received over $40,000 in financial benefits from the business. He was charged as an accessory. When federal agents arrived at my parents' house, my mother's first words were, "My daughter is doing this because she hates me." No. I did it because I loved myself enough to stop carrying what was never mine. The legal process took over a year. My parents pleaded guilty. My mother received 36 months in federal prison. My father received 22 months. My brother was sentenced to probation and restitution. The notary lost her license permanently. My mother wrote to me from prison. She did not apologize. She blamed me. "You could have handled this privately." As if I were the one who forged signatures. As if I were the one who stole a child's future. I never responded. One by one, the fraudulent accounts were removed. My credit score rose, my tax records were corrected, my name was returned to me. At 28, I applied for a mortgage again. This time, I was approved. I bought a small brick townhouse with white shutters and a maple tree in the front yard. The first night, I sat on the hardwood floor surrounded by boxes. The house was silent. No accusations, no guilt, no manipulation, just peace. For the first time in my life, every document attached to my name existed because I chose it. People ask if I forgive my parents. Forgiveness is personal, but accountability is non-negotiable. You can understand someone's desperation without accepting their abuse. You can love your family and still refuse to let them destroy you. I keep one folder in my home office. Inside are three things: my original 49-page credit report, my mother's prison letters, and the deed to my townhouse, the first legal document my parents never touched. Sometimes I look at those papers, not to reopen old wounds, but to remind myself how far I came. A child whose identity was stolen, a woman who fought to get it back, and a homeowner with keys in her hand. If you've ever been told that protecting yourself is selfish, remember this. Boundaries do not destroy families, they reveal who is benefiting from your lack of them. This is my story: 10 years of fraud, 14 months of investigation, 3 prison sentences, and one front door that opens with my own key. Thank you for listening. If this story resonated with you, subscribe to Calm Drama Stories and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you have not checked your credit report recently, do it today, because your name belongs to you.